Learning theories have expanded beyond the three broad theories of behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism to now include humanism and connectivism. This presentation will briefly discuss the theory of connectivism, which was introduced by George Simmons and Stephen Downes. George Simmons wrote Connectivism, Learning as a Network Creation, and Downes published in 2012 An Introduction to Connective Knowledge. So what is connectivism? Connectivism is defined by Simmons in 2006 as a conceptual framework which reviews learning as a network phenomenon introduced by technology and socialization. Downes defined it in 2012 by stating that it is a thesis that knowledge is distributed across a network of connections, and therefore that learning consists of the ability to construct and traverse those connections. So, together, the definitions explain how internet technologies have created new opportunities for people to learn and to share information across the web. The technologies include web browsers, emails, wikis, online discussions, and any method which users can communicate and share information with one another. There are several principles of connectivism, and I just wanted to highlight a top three. One is that learning is a process of connecting specialized nodes or information sources. So what are nodes? Nodes are defined as a learning community. Nodes may be an organization, a library, a database, and once two or more nodes join together, they form what is called a network. The second principle to highlight is that learning may reside in non-human appliances. In connectivism, there is no real concept of transferring knowledge or making knowledge. Instead, it emerges from connections that are formed through network activity. And the third principle of connectivism that I wanted to highlight is that nurturing and maintaining connections is needed to facilitate continual learning. And that goes to confirm the need or principle of the nodes and how working together and sharing knowledge promotes learning. So how can the theory of connectivism be used in a training environment? Well, that's exactly what the theory is supporting. It was developed to address that training in an e-learning environment requires connectivity. So that's done through creating online communities, using social media, promoting collaboration through videos, blogs, anything where information can be shared through others. Now, there are some concerns with certain events or certain avenues such as social media. There are concerns with confidentiality, possibly professionalism. So that is something that would need to be established of what's appropriate if it is opted to be used in a training environment. Now, let's discuss some of the criticisms of the theory. Now, of course, there are criticisms of all theories, but because connectivism is rather new, there are some strong criticisms of it even being an actual theory. So one criticism is the disconnect between the theory and the principles. And so what some have said is that the principles of connectivism are actually rooted in other theories such as behaviorism and most strongly rooted in constructivism, which, if it's defining itself as connectivism, the roots should be in connectivism. So there's no clear distinction there. Another big criticism of the theory is that there is a lack of explanation for the assertion that learning may reside in non-human appliances. The argument there is that there is little to no empirical evidence that supports that learning resides in non-human appliances. And so that's more so of an assumption that needs to be tested before it can be utilized as actual theory. So, in summary, the connectivism really is a theory that was to address a gap in the other theories, which is promoting the online sharing and learning of knowledge. Connectivism is very new. It's actually the newest theory. And of course, there are some concerns about its basis. But over time, I believe not only the founders of the theory, but other researchers can continue to work to find more evidence and prove more evidence of its importance and its actual principles. Thank you.